You don't need all the answers, so stop worrying. I don't know if you're a man or you're a woman, or if you're a young girl or a young boy and you're just confused and you just need answers, and you need them right now because you need to know what's happening right now, because it's just so important and there's so much stress running through you right now and you just want to know what to do. What are the answers? And you don't know them. Could it be because God doesn't want you to know them? Or maybe you're not supposed to know them? Or maybe it's not time for you to know them because you're not prepared to know it yet? Sometimes the Lord our God doesn't give you the answer because you're not ready. Or maybe somebody walked away from you and you just don't know. You want the answer. You want to know why. Because they're not right for you, that's why. Because they need a break from you to appreciate you, that's why. You want to know the answer. Maybe you applied for a job and you're waiting and you just need to know the answer. You need to know what's going on because you got so much going on. Just don't worry about it. Everything is going to happen in your perfect timing. All right? 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33, baby, let's go. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So the other day I was at Bible study, which was after Mass. I was laughing. This man comes up to me and he says, my wife, did you talk to her? And I'm like, no. He's like, she's going to tell you a story. And I'm like, oh yeah? I'm like, okay. So she comes over and she's like, hey, T. I'm like, hi. She's like, I want to tell you a story. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go. Tell me the story. She says, I was holding a meeting in Kansas City. She goes, and it came to my heart to ask the audience how many of them were confused. There was about 300 people at that meeting, and from what I could tell, 298 of them raised their hands. And my husband and my girlfriend were the only two. And I feel like at that moment, she said to me, I knew that it wasn't for me to be on stage. But I want to tell you this story because I feel like you do belong on stage. You do belong with that microphone. You do belong speaking to people. And maybe the 298 would raise their hand with you. And I was like, well, that's very nice of you. So it was a compliment. But at the same time, she quit. She got up there, only 2 people raised their hand, and then she never did it again. But maybe she needed to go through that process to experience what it was like to be on stage, to be able to work her way to the top. Who knows where she would have been. But she had a really good explanation for me. She said, I can tell you this, my husband has never been confused in his life. And he's standing there looking at me like this. Because he doesn't worry. He doesn't try and figure anything out. He's not interested in having all the answers to everything because he trusts God. And I looked at him and I looked at her and I said, yeah, he trusts God and so do I, so I understand his peace, but he's also a man. And men don't get crazy like women do, right? And she started laughing, right? When you trust God, you can relax and you can enjoy life. You don't have to go through life worrying and trying to figure out how to solve all your problems. Even men get worried and stressed too, I understand that. Think about all the things you have worried about in your life and how they have all worked out, man or woman, right? That should help you to realize that worrying and reasoning are a waste of time and energy. I have to tell you another story. So, one of my girlfriends, okay, she has 4 children, okay, and she gave me this story. And I could give you all my own stories all the time, but sometimes I want to give you other people's stories because I'm not married and I don't have any children. So sometimes, I don't have a husband, I don't have children, so their experiences will reach you with this Bible verse better than what I can tell you, right? So my good girlfriend has 4 grown children, okay? And it amazes me when she says, when she looks back at everything that she went through with them as they were growing up. When they didn't get good grades in school, okay? When they wouldn't get good grades, who would call? The principal's office would call because of them. And she would worry and she didn't know if she was being a good parent. She didn't know how to scold them. She wanted to make sure that this never happened again. She was embarrassed, right? And she didn't have all the answers. Then when the neighbor complained about them, when it looked as if they would never want to work or do anything worthwhile or would never be able to handle their finances. And she said she would think, how are they ever going to handle life when they get away from me, Tina? They can't even handle their own allowances, she says to me. She said she wasted a lot of time worrying over them, and in the end, they all turned out fine. We were talking about that. We were talking about how amazing, to have 4 children and to bring them up and all the things that you go through. My brothers both have kids. They probably go through crazy amounts of experiences, and it's like, how are they handling them? Because I can't be with them every day, and I'm not around those kids all the time. And it's like, what are they going through? Are they okay? Are they stressing every day? Are their kids okay? Like, you know, it's like so funny. You know, I would think, how are they ever going to handle life when they get away from me? They can't even handle their own allowances. I mean, that's funny, right? Now, she wasted a lot of her time worrying over them. Are you wasting a lot of your time worrying over your children? Are you wasting a lot of time worrying over your husband, over your friends? You know that God has everybody, and it's all just going to work out okay. So, in the end, everything and everyone turns out fine. The only time they don't is when they're involved in things that are of sin. And that's why those videos I posted over the weekend are so powerful. Because as long as you are walking with God, God has got you. God's got you. But if you're not walking with God, that's when the devil can truly and genuinely pull you down and hurt you. So these different Bible verses today are going to reach you when you're walking with God. But when you're not walking with God, I want you to watch those videos I posted over the weekend. Go right to my Instagram, Breathe Easy 47. Okay? So, I'm sharing these stories with you to help you realize that where your kids and your relationships and your finances and your job and your health are right now, it's not where they're going to end up. Listen to me, Tina. It's not where they're going to end up. So stop trying to get all the answers and stop trying to figure everything out. Don't worry about it. Okay? Stop worrying. Stop complicating your life by trying to figure everything out. Just admit that you don't know, that you're not able, that you need God. Then go on living and enjoying life while God is giving you the answers. Trust in Him. Pray and trust God, and He will show you what to do at the right time. He will show you because He is a God who never fails His children. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6 and Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Very powerful. He is a God of faithfulness, and He always comes through. Always. He comes through. He loves us. As long as you seek Him. All right? So no need to know all the answers, and stop worrying. Take care.